is your brother Sharif Alim from Denver, Colorado, on the series that I got going on called The Black Holocaust. Right here is a book that I'm holding in my hand called Buried in the Bitter Waters, The Hidden History of Racial Cleansing in the United States, written by Elliot Jaskin. Go out and get this book, because then you'll know what the Black Holocaust is in the United States. From the period after the Civil War all the way up to the 1960s, black men and women were burned at the stake, hung from trees, shot with bullets, butchered, and everything else. And I have another book called Without Sanctuary, and I'd like to read you a passage from that book. It says, after learning of the lynching of her husband, Mary Turner, in her 8th month of pregnancy, vowed to find those responsible, swear out warrants against them, and have them punished in the courts. For making such a threat, a mob of several hundred men and women determined to teach her a lesson. After tying her ankles together, they hung her from a tree, head downwards. Dousing her clothes with gasoline, they burned them from her body. While she was still alive, someone used a knife ordinarily reserved for the splitting of hogs to open up the woman's abdomen. An infant fell from her womb to the ground and cried briefly, whereupon a member of this Valladolid mob crushed the baby's head beneath his heels. Hundreds of bullets were then fired into Mary Turner's body, completing the work of the mob. The Associated Press, in its notice of the affair, observed that Mary Turner had made unwise remarks about the execution of her husband, and the people in their indignant mood took exception to her remarks as well as her attitude. Now dig this, brothers and sisters. Mary Turner's husband was killed because white people in Valdosta, Georgia, was trying to drive off black men from having jobs in the local mills and mines that were going on in that time. This was racial terrorism that was done against black people because we are not citizens of the United States of America. When you're a citizen of a country, you don't need any amendments to the Constitution. You don't need no Civil Rights Bill. You don't need no Fair Housing Act. You don't need no Brown versus Boardication to guarantee you have equal education. Black people were not considered citizens, and we are still not considered citizens in this country. So I want you to go check out this book again. It's called Buried in the Bitter Waters. And in this book, it documents several cities in the United States where black people were driven out. And until this day, they still have low populations of black people. But one thing you have to ask yourself, what happened to the black people when they were driven out? Their land was taken from them. It was stolen from them. And that's part of our reparations. A lot of us black people have stories of our family being chased out of different towns. Well, what happened when they left? Their land was gobbled up. Their possessions was gobbled up. Crimes were committed. And the people that committed those crimes were never punished from it. So we had a brother that gave his life a few months ago for the Jewish Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. I want to know how many of you brothers is willing to give your life to protect our history and teach our kids about our Holocaust. Until next time, this is your brother Sharif Alim from Denver, Colorado. You can check me out at kgnuradio.org, kgnu.org, and if you live in the Denver metro area, that's 88.5 FM, 1390 AM. And I'll be back at you with more black facts about the Black Holocaust. Peace. That's it.